Hi, it's Caitlin and I'm here with more By Dany Vianna polishes for you, as well as a continuation of the Zodiac Stones collab for Geminis. First, we'll take a look at the new Gossamer Wings collection from By Dany Vianna. This features 6 butterfly-inspired polishes. They are all incredibly unique and gorgeous. They are meant to give that sort of like butterfly nail effect, which has sort of been trending on social media. They're all really beautiful, interesting, complex shades. They can be worn alone, they can be worn as toppers, so they're super versatile. And of course, we have more polishes from the Zodiac Stones series. If you haven't already seen my video with Aries and Taurus, that came out a couple weeks ago. And now we have Gemini. So I will include in the description of my video when all of these polishes will be available and where you can pick them up. I believe the Butterfly Wings collection will be available now, and then the Gemini polishes will be available soon, or maybe they're also available now. It'll be in the description. And you can shop on the By Dany Vianna website. They ship from the US and offer free shipping over $75, or they have a ton of different stockists, so I will try to include all of those down in the description as well. And let's get into it. Let's start by looking at the Gossamer Wings collection from By Dany Vianna. This one is a blue morpho butterfly inspired polish. It has an indigo to violet aurora shimmer and a teal to blue glow in the dark effect. I already knew I'd like this one because of the beautiful shimmer in this. And I do love a good glow in the dark polish. So the glow in the dark pigment does sort of make it dry down matte. That's just how the pigment is. And when you apply top coat, it will completely smooth out and be very glossy. So it's obviously a sheer polish, and I will be showing it layered over black. But you can build it up in 3 coats to relative opacity, but obviously I don't really have a free edge, so if you did, you would probably see it. This would be a great candidate for a visible nail line blurring base if you don't want to see any visible nail line. So the shimmer is kind of like visible in a way that I think is really beautiful. It also catches the light, not like holographic, but it does kind of sparkle and twinkle on your nail. And here you can see the glow in the dark effect. You can also see how beautifully smooth this formula is. It's not patchy at all, and it charges up really nicely in the sun and glows beautifully in the dark. And of course, it looks fantastic in direct light. As you can see here, it's just a really pretty effect on the nails. It looks gorgeous in the sun, as you can see here, and I just really, really like it. Now I'm going to show it over a black. I believe I'm using the cracked polish, what's it called? Joke's on You, something like that, but it's their black and it's amazing. And you can see that blue morpho looks amazing over black. This polish is called Tiger Swallowtail, and it has a mix of gold to green aurora shimmer with silver metallic magnetic pull. I'm getting tongue-tied. Whoa, apparently. So this has a really beautiful and opaque finish. It is just a pleasure to work with this polish. I'm using a wand magnet, so it's more of like a bar-ish kind of effect. I didn't try the velvet style on this one so much, but the magnetic effect is on the subtle side. I think that just sort of adds dimension to the polish, so it's not going to be super obvious everything kind of complements each other and works together beautifully. So I changed up my approach and I did place my nails over the magnet, and in this case you're going to get a stronger line. You can probably see the difference. So I guess the first approach was more scattered velvety, but then I thought, oh, this is going to look better with more of a line. So that's what I did. And you can see that in 2 coats, it's totally opaque, has really good coverage. It does dry like a little bit dull, so you will want a glossy top coat. And it just has a really pretty kind of antique-y look to it. And it's really interesting on the nail. You can see the magnetic effect a little bit better here, and I will note that I did not apply the magnet to my pinky, so that's how it would look without the magnet applied. Next up we have a glass wing, and this one has fine orange to green Aurora shimmer with orange reflective glitters. This is another beautifully sheer polish. I love sheer polishes, but I will show the sheer ones over black as well for anyone who doesn't like sheers. This is a really magical quality to it with the reflective glitter and the shimmer itself. It just works so beautifully together. And while I will be showing it over black, this is a polish that would look fantastic over many different colors. But, you know, you can just go crazy layering these and matching them with other colors in the collection. You can really just come up with endless options by mixing and matching these polishes with different bases or over each other. So you will note that this dries a little bit textured because there's the reflective glitter, but one layer of top coat will smooth everything out beautifully and it won't be difficult to remove. Here I'm using my camera flash. You can see that the reflective glitter is very sparingly done. I think it's the perfect amount. It just adds a beautiful twinkle, and you can see it really obviously here in the sun. And now I'm going to show this over a black. This one kind of blew my mind over the black. It looks amazing. And what you will also note is that these formulas are super even. So they cover beautifully in one coat over a black base. They're not patchy. They're totally even. Perfect topper. Here we have Monarch, because what butterfly collection would be complete without a Monarch inspired polish? This one has a mix of iridescent red to copper and gold flakes with irregular black glitters and a clear to black thermal effect. This one again has a sheer formula. You could definitely layer it, but I just didn't want to lose sight of those black glitters, so I think it works beautifully on its own. It does build up nicely in 3 coats, which is how I'm going to show it. And the black base is definitely still slightly transparent, so you can see the nail line through it, which just allows all of those flakes to beautifully show through the layers. You don't lose them through a dark base. It's just a gorgeous finish, and it definitely looks like a Monarch. This one does dry textured because of all the flakes, but 1 layer of top coat will smooth everything out, and it will also not be difficult to remove because those little irregular black glitters are kind of flake-like in their behavior, so they're not too textured and not difficult to remove. And here you can see how cool it looks when your fingers are warm. I love it in both states, but it's really cool when your fingers are hot. This one is called Malachite, and Malachite is a purple to pink aurora shimmer with green to blue iridescent flakes and green gold reflective glitters. So again, another sheer polish which you can build up on its own or layer, which I will show, but I am a sucker for sheer polishes, so if you don't like that, don't watch my videos because I am always team sheer. I just think it's really beautiful, and I know some people have stained nails, so that doesn't work for them, but you can also layer these over a ridge filling base coat or a visible nail line blurring base coat and get a similar effect if you want to cover up your nail underneath and still want the look of this polish without layering it over a black or a white, because that can change how it looks. So that builds up nicely in 3 coats. It actually has pretty good coverage and it obscures most of the nail line. It does have a tiny bit of texture from the reflective glitter, but a layer of top coat will smooth it out. I'm using Cuticula Limitless Quick Dry Top Coat in my video today. It's a really great top coat. And here you can also see those beautiful iridescent flakes. Again, I'm showing Malachite over a black. I will have footage at the end of this section where I show these like shifting in the light for anyone who's curious how they look over black and how shifty they are. Here we have Blushing Phantom, which is a mix of silver and purple reflective glitters with pink to red to copper to gold iridescent flakes. This one really excited me in the bottle, and it excited me on the nail as well. This one is definitely going to be really versatile over different bases in one coat as a topper, and I actually am going to show it layered over another polish in this collection so you can get some inspiration on how to play with these polishes together. This one does have a lot going on in it, so I recommend working in thin coats and building it up into 3 coats if you want to wear it on its own. Or again, you can layer it in 1 or 2 coats and get a totally different look. I do love the flakes in here. They're so glowy and fiery and beautiful, and I love that slightly purple tint to the base. First, I'm going to show Blushing Phantom over a black. You definitely get that fiery feel over black. And you can also see the silver reflective glitters. Everything comes out evenly and beautifully. It's just a really fun way to wear this polish, and it looks totally different than what you see in the bottle. And here I am layering it over, I think it's called Glasswing? I think, yes. And you can see how pretty that is. I really, really like that combo a lot. And here is some footage of all of those layered combos. I just wanted to show you how they looked in different lighting, so you can get a taste for how these polishes look when you layer them. And I am completely obsessed with these over black. They look so good. And before we look at the Zodiac Stones Gemini polishes, I just wanted to include a little collage of everything I swatched because I think it's helpful, and also my photos are really pretty and you don't get to appreciate them if it's just in a thumbnail. Now we will move into the Gemini collection from the Zodiac Stones collab, which, if you're not familiar or you didn't listen to the intro of my video, this is a collaboration, a monthly collaboration with By Dany Vianna, by Vanessa Molina and Whatcha, and they each create 2 polishes inspired by the stones that are affiliated with each of the zodiac signs. So for Gemini, the stone is white noble opal, and it has a crelly base with a mix of iridescent flakes and holographic dust. And this is apparently a stone that's tied to spirituality for Gemini. I think there's also like a regular white glitter in here, which is really fun. And if you know anything about me, you know that I love opals. I love opals as a gem, and I love opal jewelry, and I love nail polish that looks like an opal. So this is a really interesting take on it, especially with those white glitters. I love the iridescent component. I love the white curly base. It's very sheer, which allows all the elements to show through. This does have a bit of texture from the glitter and the iridescent flakes, so do use a good glossy top coat. Next up we have Amber, and if you couldn't already tell, this one is a magnetic. It has a yellow base with ultra chrome chameleon magnetic microflakes that shift from red to copper. And this stone apparently relates to personality and protection for Geminis. So you can see that you don't have to magnetize this. It would look beautiful even if you didn't apply a magnet, as you can see on that first coat. It definitely has a jelly finish, and it's really, really beautiful. If you're the kind of person that likes this kind of type of polish color, then this one is definitely something to consider adding to your collection. And as I learned from Daniela, who is behind By Dany Vianna, she told me that the magnetic microflakes are heavy, so they tend to look better with the velvet effect. So you need a good, strong magnet. And you can see that I did magnetize my index finger, and you can tell how that'll look a little better in the 4-finger shot, but I left my middle unmagnetized, and obviously it's beautiful both ways. So you can see my index and ring finger, that sort of velvety shift, and my middle and pinky are unmagnetized. Moving along, we have Aquamarine, and Aquamarine has a light green base with Spectraflare pigment and Aurora shimmer. So this is related to self-affirmation and communication. Because this has Spectraflare, it's going to have an incredibly strong linear hollow flame, which you will see in the sunlight. I re-swatched this when the sun came out because I knew it would just make you fall in love with it. You'll also see that the formula is really good. It's fully opaque in 2 coats. And the other thing to note about linear hollows is that the hollow effect gets stronger as it dries down. So when you apply it, it doesn't look overly linear, but you'll note here where it's dried down, you can already see that flame better. And a top coat will enhance the holographic effect once that's also dried down, but make sure you use a good top coat that won't dull the hollow, and Cuticula Limitless won't dull it in my experience. However, I did ding my index finger, so that's just pure clumsiness. I think I had to change the battery on my camera. And now you can just enjoy this one in the sun. It's incredibly gorgeous. Like, just look at the linear hollow flame. It is fiery. Here we have Labradorite, and this one is so interesting. It's a black jelly base with blue to green iridescent flakes. This one is about love and emotional balance for Gemini. This is very educational, so if you're a Gemini, you should get a whole bunch of these stones and surround yourself with them. Now this is very sheer, and I am actually going to build it up in 4 coats. You maybe could layer it over something, but personally I think the intention of this polish is for it to have that transparency to it. If you've ever seen Labradorite in person, you'll know what I mean. And the layers dry quickly. It's really easy to build it up in 4 coats, so if you like the way this looks, it's worth the effort. It's absolutely stunning. And because it is beautifully formulated, it really isn't a trouble at all to do 4 coats, but some people just hate, more than 2. So this one is intended to be worn this way, I think, and it should be built up in 4 coats to give it the best, most Labradorite looking effect. Now this does dry pretty shiny, but glossy top coat will help make it look even more perfect. Here we have Serpentine, or maybe it's Serpentine, I'm not sure, when it's a stone. I mean, if you're talking about snakes, I think it's Serpentine. Is this different? I'm not sure. It's a mossy green crelly with iridescent flakes and black microflakes. This to me would be beautiful for anyone who also was in the camp of liking amber earlier. They're just those like earth tones. They remind me of camouflage. They're really beautiful. And this one is just so unique. So I'm sure someone will go gaga for this in the comments. This had really beautiful coverage in 2 coats. You might need 3 if you have longer nails, but the coverage is fantastic. The curly base is quite creamy, and yet you can see the flakes through the layers very easily. And last but not least, we have Iron Tiger Eyes, and this one is about meditation and intuition. This is a sheer black base with a mix of black flakes, micro graphite flakes, iridescent orange flakes, and copper metallic flakes. I am going to show this one built up on its own as well as over a brown, just because you definitely could use this as a topper. It has incredibly even coverage and it's versatile. You could wear it either way, really. This does build up quite nicely in 3 coats on its own. It keeps that sort of sheer effect to it. So again, it's all about your preference, but I love these polishes because they're so well formulated that you can build them up without it turning into a gloopy mess, or you can layer them and they have beautiful, even, non-streaky, beautiful formulas that are just so suitable to either wearing as toppers or on their own. Here you can see it over a brown cream once I put my camera into focus. It works really well as a topper, as you can see. And if you're still here with me, here's another little snapshot of the entire collection. So from the Gossamer Wings collection, I am super into Blushing Phantom. I'm just a sucker for iridescent flakes, and I love that sort of pale purple base, and the reflective glitter works really well in there. It gives it like a beautiful sparkle, and the reflective glitter in there is really well done. It gives it a beautiful sparkle and twinkle. And I do also really like Blue Morpho. I just love blue shimmer, and this one is really beautifully done. It has a fantastic formula, so I can see myself wearing it a lot. And for Gemini, I might as well pick two because I feel like that's makes sense. I've got Labradorite. There's just something again about the flakes, about the base color, amazing formula. I love it. And obviously White Noble Opal. I love an opal inspired polish, and this one is super pretty. Love the flakes, love the formula, love. So let me know in the comments what you think of these polishes, and let me know if you're a Gemini. Raise your hand in the comment section. I hope you're having a very good day wherever you are, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye.